Cigarette smoke hung heavy in the air. The nightclub pulsed with a rhythm that felt dangerous. It was familiar territory for Tony. He surveyed the room, his eyes cold and calculating. He was a man who commanded respect, fear, even. Across the table sat Sal, sweating and fidgeting. A small-time crook with big-time aspirations. He wouldn't last long. Tony could smell weakness like a shark smells blood.
You had your chance, Sal. Now you're swimming with the fishes.
Two of Tony's men, Bruno and Marco, flanked Sal. They were shadows, always present, always watching. The deal was simple. Sal had messed up. Now he had to pay the price. Tony didn't like loose ends, and in his world, loose ends had a way of disappearing. Permanently. Sophia adjusted her cheap uniform, feeling the weight of her hidden camera. She was a journalist, but tonight she was playing the role of a waitress. Her target, Tony. The air crackled when he walked in. His eyes met hers for a fleeting moment. It sent a shiver down her spine. She wasn't sure if it was fear or something else. He was dangerous, she knew that. But there was an undeniable magnetism about him.
He's more intense, more captivating than I imagined.
Sophia moved through the club, her eyes and ears open. She caught snippets of conversations, whispers of deals gone wrong. She was getting closer to the truth. He was different from what she'd imagined. More intense, more captivating. She couldn't deny the forbidden attraction that flickered within her. Sophia knew she had pushed her luck too far. Bruno had spotted her, his eyes narrowing in suspicion. She slipped through the throng of dancers, her heart pounding against her ribs. She had to get out. Now. She bolted towards the back exit, adrenaline coursing through her veins. She could hear Bruno's heavy footsteps behind her. He was gaining on her.
I need to get out. He's right behind me.
Meanwhile, Tony examined the camera Sophia left behind. He was intrigued. Who was this woman who dared to spy on him? He felt a surge of anger, but also a flicker of admiration. He ordered his men to find her. He needed to know more. Tony found Sophia in a small diner, her face pale and drawn. He sat across from her, his gaze intense.
What?
He asked, his voice a low rumble. Sophia met his gaze, her fear giving way to defiance.
I'm a journalist. It's my job to expose the truth.
He saw something in her eyes that gave him pause, honesty, courage. He found himself drawn to her, despite everything. He knew he should walk away, but he couldn't. He was falling for her, and it terrified him. Enzo watched Tony from the shadows, his face contorted in a mask of envy and resentment. Tony's childhood friend, he had always felt like he lived in his shadow. He had been feeding information to Detective Sullivan, a woman with her vendetta against Tony's family. She was a thorn in their side, relentless in her pursuit of justice, or at least her version of it.
This is my chance to finally step out of Tony's shadow, even if it means betraying him.
Enzo saw this as his chance to finally step out of Tony's shadow, even if it meant betraying him. He would take everything from Tony, his power, his empire, even Sophia. Sophia dug deeper into Tony's past, each revelation like a shard of glass piercing her heart. She uncovered a web of secrets, lies, and betrayal. And at the center of it all was Tony's father, Don Francesco. She discovered her own father's death wasn't an accident. Don Francesco had ordered the hit. The realization hit her like a physical blow. The man she was falling for was the son of the man who had destroyed her family.
Tony, your father, he ordered the hit on my dad. It wasn't an accident.
She confronted Tony with the truth, her voice shaking with anger and pain. He listened, his face ashen, the weight of his father's sins crushing him. He had always known his father was no saint, but this was different.